Yeah, Outlive game. If you don't have your shirts yet, outlive.org. And if not, they should be selling them in all the different concourses. So, we got a long sleeve option this year, which is really exciting. And, looking for trying to get as close to 100% participation as we can. It's a really, it's a great cause. It's unique because the funds are going not towards like cancer research, but it's going towards funds at the discretion of those that it's being given to, so it can help with a mortgage payment or a gas bill or grocery bills, utilities, different things that you don't really think about having to burden you when you're fighting this fight with cancer. And something we're incredibly proud of. Our family's been really animated about this for a long time, since we were at Tennessee. And Jackie's done a great job of taking over everything with the family foundation, and just want to continue to raise as much money and as much awareness as we possibly can. There's going to be stations set up for blood tests for prostate cancer, and then there's going to be cheek swabs to be on like a donor list. So a lot of really cool stuff, and stuff we're obviously very proud of, and want to continue to put in front of our fans. And we appreciate our fans being so supportive in this initiative. So with that, take any questions.
Justin,
Steven, just talk about the challenge. Is this in? Ron?
you good?
Just talk about the challenge of keeping the guys when you're going through this skid. But you also want to remind them of some of the things they've done this year, whether it's
Right.
Florida or even the second half of Mississippi State. How do you sort of pick them up, remind them of that, and get them back on track? Where I know they're certainly down right now.
This has been a resilient group, and we had a great practice yesterday. Like, if you're in the building, the energy was like we have won 5 in a row. So it's commendable, and I think they have done a good job of just kind of blocking out the noise, and we've done a good job of just trying to stay present in what we're doing, and recognizing that there's a lot of things that we got to get better at. Mainly we got to stop letting the opposing team's best player just beat us. And we got to stop getting off to such slow starts. In 5 of our last 6 games, we've been down 13 or more in the first half. So we got to figure out, we're trying to figure out ways to combat that, because, in our 4-game winning streak, and when we had won 5 out of 6, we'd done a good job of not getting off to slow starts. Texas was the only game in that stretch where we didn't get off to a great start, and we were able to battle back. But, you look at those 16 minutes in the second half of Mississippi State, and like you said, Justin, you got to remind them of those, because those were fun. That was a fun 16 minutes to coach. It was a fun 16 minutes to watch, and I know it was a fun 16 minutes for them to play. We just got to find a way to be more consistent, and if we can do that, we can start to make our run.
All right. Going off that, like, what did you see was the biggest difference between maybe the start and then that second half run? I know you would talk about playing desperately, after the game. Do you think it's just kind of turning it up a little bit more earlier in games, or something else?
Yeah, I mean, we can't wait till we're down 18, and Hubbard's got 35 to start, executing the game plan. If he made 9 threes in the first half, 3 of them, well, no, probably like 5 of them were just scouting report mistakes where we just weren't at the level. We didn't impact. We didn't get the ball out of his hands. We gapped a pin down. We laid on a couple screens. We didn't top lock. Our bigs weren't, at the level of their man to be able to jump out. Now, he made just 3, like, what in the world shots, but he's capable of doing that. And we told him that he's capable of doing that. And as soon as he sees 1 or 2 go in, the rim looks like a hula hoop to that guy. So, the last 5 games, the first possession, we haven't executed our coverages correctly on the very first possession. And we got to stop doing that. So, we got to find a way to fly around more early in games to get us more engaged on the defensive end.
Ted's got in the notes here that Kentucky's the best three-point shooting team in the league during SEC play. You mentioned getting off to better starts defensively. Do you feel like that's kind of been a theme, whether it's Hubbard, Vanderbilt, Alabama, they've kind of had some early three-point shots. Do you think that's kind of been a theme that's allowed those teams to get confidence, and then you guys maybe are better in the scouting report later on? I guess, how do you kind of get them to hone in a little earlier in the game?
Yeah, I mean, Alabama, we were too flat on a ball screen, and they hit a three in the corner. Vanderbilt, we got caught on a back door where they then came off a dribble handoff, and he hit a really tough one. Mississippi State, they missed their first couple, but they got extra possessions. Actually, no, they made their first one. We messed up two switches, and he was standing wide open at the top of the floor. Now he's made 8 threes all year, and he made 2 in that game. There's been a little bit of that this year. But yeah, we just got to do a better job at executing early in the scouting report, and we just can't let guys that can really shoot it, get easy ones, get clean ones, and Mississippi State makes 7 threes a game. They made 16. So it's gonna be really hard to beat teams when they do that. But yeah, we recognize that Kentucky's a really good 3-point shooting team. They shoot good percentages, but they're still probably better from 2 overall than they are from 3, just because they do a great job of attacking downhill and getting to the paint. But like Chandler's a guy that you got to treat like Tyler Nickel from Vanderbilt. You can't allow him to get anything clean off, because I think he's made 20 in his last 5 games. Aberdeen's a guy that with time and space can really make shots and can be streaky. Owe has the green light, and he can knock down shots too. So they got 3 guards that can all really shoot it. And, we got to Noah coming off the bench can shoot it. So just got to recognize where shooters are and do a better job in our closeouts.
I wanted to ask about Owe and defending him. He's probably the most consistent, high-level scorer in the SEC this year with the amount of 20-point games he's had. Just the challenges of defending him, especially knowing that, he's had to carry a lot of this offense this year with the injuries they've had. Yeah,
I want to say 11 out of the 13 conference games he's had 20 or more. So does a really good job of driving either direction, getting downhill, really physical, getting to the rim. And, if he can make 1, he can make 3. Can get to his mid-range. I think he shoots 75% inside the paint, which is, pretty impressive. So we got to do a really good job of, trying to limit, his touches around the rim, and got to try and keep him out of the paint as best we can.
You were talking about around the rim. I mean, that's been a problem the last few games on both ends of the court as well. I mean, you're like 5-14 on layups the other day, and they're 7 of 10. I mean, just is the offensive problem because teams are backing it in so much and just giving you the 3, or what are you seeing?
Well, we went 12 for 24 from 3, so I don't think that's the problem. We just missed layups. We've been a really good 2-point shooting team all year. We just haven't 3 of the last 4 games. So, we got to do a better job, and it's because we played off of 1 foot, and all we talk about is not playing off of 1 foot. You got to play off 2. So showing them possessions yesterday, just every time we played off 2, it was either a foul or a made layup. Every time he played off 1, it was a missed layup, no foul. So we kind of got away from what we've been doing, playing off 2 feet in that game. And I thought we shot the ball better from 3, made 12 in the game, which you should be able to win a lot of games doing that. But obviously when they make 16, it makes it a little more difficult.
You were talking about how good practice was yesterday and the energy was, and how resilient this group has been. Just for a new team, or a team of a bunch of guys who hadn't played together before, and then it's the first time. Where do you think that comes from? Just with guys?
Me, no, I'm joking. No. I mean, I think the things that I say, it's not just lip service. I think they believe it too. They believe that they're capable of making a run, and that's where I think that energy comes from. Is that they know that and we're not going to say the C word, but we're right there. We just got to get over the hump, man. We lost to 4 really, really good teams. One of those was without our best player, and then he had 46 freaking points. So it's golly, we're right there, and we just got to finish. We got to push it over the edge, and so I think that the reason why there's good energy is because they recognize that we're more than capable if we can just finish. And that's what we got to do in these last 5 games is we got to finish possessions. We got to finish games.
Steve, I'm curious at this point in the season, you guys have had some highs and lows. I mean, do you reach out to your dad for counsel at any point right now? I mean, how much do you speak with him necessarily for advice or anything like that? Or are you guys just so deep in trying to finish the season, trying to get to March that that's not something necessarily on your mind that much?
I mean, I talk to him once a week pretty routinely, even when we're winning, if we're not winning. So no, I mean, he's whenever I need him, I'll reach out to him, but it hasn't been like where I've had to confide in him for counsel, over this tough stretch, because it's just part of it. Biggest thing is we just have to stay consistent with what we're doing, and we can't panic. So no, I mean, if I ever need him, he's there. He's not reaching out to me, because he knows what we're in right now, what we're dealing with, what we're going through, and he knows when I need him, I'll reach out to him.
Peter. Right behind you.
Just, how the schedule shapes up with the lack of, I guess, major, quad one opportunities left and, making this game important. Is that something that you address honestly with the team and, that this game is big because of that, or do you just keep the focus on, this game is big because it's the next game is another opportunity out?
I mean, 60% of our remaining games are quad ones, so is that a lack of quad one opportunities?
Well, just in terms of, I guess.
Oh, seriously, yeah. If you look at our last 8, and it's not 8 in a row. Yeah, I got you.
The next,
I'm just messing with you, Peter. They're all right now. They're all equally important because, we have 5 quality wins already this year, and every one that you can add on top of this, is significant at this point in the year. So, every win is a way to win yourself into the tournament or win yourself into better seeding in the SEC tournament, and every loss is a way to lose yourself out of the tournament and lose yourself in seeding. So they recognize what it is. I mean, they know where we're at right now. They know exactly where we're at right now, and I think we as coaches probably put more pressure on ourselves than young people do. I don't think they feel that pressure as much. They feel that pressure for like Keyshawn Hall and Keyshawn Murphy. Murph's never won a tournament game, and Keyshawn Hall's never been there. So I think collectively they'd like for them both to be able to experience that. So I think that's where there's a little pressure in there. But besides that, I think they have a full awareness and understanding of the urgency of of how we got to play and how we do have to put our backs up against the wall and play desperate these last 5 to put ourselves in position to do a lot of the things that we set out to do at the beginning of the year, because while we're sitting here at 14-12 and we're not in as good of a spot as we'd like to be, we still are in position to accomplish a lot of the things that we talked about and we set out to earlier in the year. We just got to finish.
You guys have had to play guys entire halves, keep playing the entire game the other day. Just to be this deep in the season and still having that fight and kind of that energy, what does that kind of say about you guys and the conditioning, especially going down the stretch? Because it's thinner than what y'all are usually used to, but obviously there's reasons for that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not, with Mech and Abdul both being out with injuries for the year, it just makes it really difficult. And the other guys that you have are freshmen, so it's you're putting a lot on those 7 or 8 guys, and but it's a credit to them and how hard they work. Key's in here working out every single day. Todd was in here last night getting an extra workout in and he's getting shots right now. All those guys, work their tails off, and it's a credit to Coach D and Clark and the work that they put in to help these guys be in tip-top shape. And Key plays 40 minutes every night, and you really don't recognize any lack of effort or energy when he's out there. So it's Todd's getting in much better shape as the year's gone on, and it's just a testament to the work that they've put in to be able to be in those situations. But that's if you look across the country, that's kind of the norm now. Is that there's 7-8 man rotations now. We would like to have 9, because then I feel like we could just fly around a little bit more defensively and be a little more effective on that end. But with what we got, we got 7 really talented players that can go out there and be impactful. So, we just gotta, just stay healthy and just keep pushing.